Welcome into week number 4 of the Acadiana postgame high school football forecast. In week number 3, we saw a Hail Mary finish, so how are we going to top that? Before we get into our games of the week, let's recognize our 3 players of the week. Speaking of that Hail Mary finish, our first player of the week is Mondarius Poulard. The Carencro wide receiver and half of Twin Sanity got behind the defense and collected the game-winning touchdown, and if you look closely, his brother Kendarius slammed a blitzer on the play. They might be small, but they make up for it in heart. Coming up next, we have Ascension Episcopal quarterback Jake Vaskaku. Jake only threw 2 incompletions last week, and through 3 weeks, Ascension scored 116 points. Even without Jake Arsenault and Michael Desermo, Matt Desermo and Jake Vaskaku are figuring it out. Last but certainly not least, we have Sacred Heart Villeplat's Julian Vadrine. Julian rushed for 206 yards and 4 touchdowns on 4 carries. Yeah, do the math. That means he averaged 51.5 yards per carry. That's gotta be some type of record. Let's see if anyone breaks records in our games of the week. Game number 1 has 2 hungry teams, both coming off of losses. Breaux Bridge takes their show on the road to play the Teurlings Rebels in a fantastic regional rivalry. You're going to have Hayden Cantrell, Jansen Lormond, and that massive Rebel offensive line going up against Julian Leon and his crew of young wide receivers. Look out for Dartravian Gregory. He might be a freshman, but he's playing like a senior. Now on to game number 2. Make sure you head out to St. Thomas More this week as they invite the defending state champions into town in the Catholic High Baton Rouge Cubs. Catholic High is always loaded to the teeth with talent that goes on to play collegiately, but STM is coming off of 2 straight wins over playoff teams. Nate Cox is really starting to figure things out at quarterback for the Cougars, but he's really going to have to sling it if they want to beat the Cubs this week. Last but not least, we have a matchup of 2 undefeated teams. We're only 4 weeks in and we already have a throwdown in District 3-5A. Comeaux versus Sulfur. Both teams come in 3-0, but only one team will remain undefeated. You have Sulfur's incredible ground attack led by Jacoby Skinner. They rushed for over 400 yards last week. They'll be going up against Comeaux's air raid led by none other than Brett Dotson and Tenarius Achan. Comeaux might have been a sleeper before the season started, but with 3 straight wins and over 120 points in their victories, nobody is sleeping on the Spartans anymore. Somebody's going to have to lose this one. Make sure you listen in to the game on Breaux Bridge and Teurlings on Planet Radio 105.1. We'll have the Lafayette High game on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. As always, Acadiana on ESPN 1420, Ascension Episcopal on Talk Radio 960, and keep up with all the scores and the games throughout the week on AcadianaPostgame.com.